Instead of listening to the same songs every morning, put on a different podcast for 18 days. Youth with Voices, Macedonia.
Hello, you listening to this podcast. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy this. In this episode, I will tell you about my experience with social media, aka Instagram, and why I don't have it anymore. I had Instagram since 2015. I got to know a lot of people, I got to have a lot of following, and also a lot of followers. But throughout the years, I realized that I started gaining a lot of bad habits. One of the first bad habits that I notice I have is that throughout the day, I cannot go even 3 hours without checking my phone. See, this didn't quite work for me. Because whenever I wanted to do something, maybe study or write homework or go outside, I would procrastinate by being on my phone. And this didn't quite work, you see? And after 3 years, I decided I will delete my Instagram account. And so it happened. It was August, it was summer. Before that, I spent my time doing nothing, alone, isolated in my room, connecting with people that live in another country on another continent. But one day I woke up and felt like I didn't need Instagram anymore. Even though I felt really stressed, I had actually panic attack about deleting my Instagram account. I did it. The feeling that I got after I deleted the Instagram account, I cannot even describe the feeling to you. It was so liberating. Like I could finally breathe without any other thing controlling me. And so a year passed and I had the greatest time of my life. I started working on the bad habits that I acquired. For example, procrastination. The focus time that I could manage in one setting was much greater than the one before. Because see, now I didn't have to check my phone all the time, but I just did what I wanted to do. Also, I kind of did what I wanted to do in a different manner. See, I didn't have to have any support by videos or photos to do something creative. I just did what I thought would be good. But then a year passed and I met few people that weren't from my country and they told me, well, how do we keep in contact if you don't have an Instagram account? So I made one, and that was last year. So for a whole year I had Instagram and my bad habits started to reappear. At first I traveled and met a lot of people and I added them on Instagram with the hope that, oh, when I come back home I will continue having contact with them. But it's all an illusion, you know? Because they see your posts, you see theirs, but actually I don't know how they are, they don't know how I am. From 500 followers, I only felt connected with 3, and that were my family and my best friends. And that got me thinking, who do I do this for? For myself or my audience? And I started thinking like, what is Instagram if you think about it? And realize that if you have an Instagram, it's okay if you, like, for example, you have a business or you have a product to sell to, gain more followers of the idea that is something genius, something innovative, something new, or something creative. But why do we ordinary people have Instagram? See, it works more like a passport. All of the information that are needed are there. Where you have been, with whom you spend your time, who is your boyfriend, girlfriend if you have, or maybe you're single. What do you eat in a day? What kind of style do you have? What kind of makeup do you wear? See, it's more like an ID card. Usually people also say how old they are, what is their zodiac. So now people get to know you more with just having your Instagram account and not actually talking to you. And I felt isolated for so many years. I felt like I knew so many people, but I just couldn't connect with any of them. Other thing that I noticed is that when you have an Instagram account, it serves more like a phone number. People, when they meet you, when they first meet you, do they ask you what is your phone number, how I can reach to you, or do they ask for your Instagram account or something of that sort? In my experience, they ask for my Instagram account so they can keep in touch with me. But do they? And do I keep in contact with them? Now, these are some greater things that I realized, but also one of the biggest things that I realize that I do that are kind of bad for me, for my time, for my surroundings, is that 5 minutes on Instagram, the next day become 10, the next day become 2 hours. And so the habit never gets better, but gets worse. All of the things that you read go into your mind, and then you start overstimulating yourself, that once you're not on your phone, you get, that feeling of, I need more. When you're bored, you take your phone, scroll through social media, 5 hours have passed, and now you eat and then go back to your phone. I didn't want to live like this anymore. I decided that I want to come back to my hobbies that I had, or maybe learn something new. I realized that the time I spent on my phone, I could actually do something meaningful in that time. For example, read a book, maybe learn a new language, or maybe just sit in silence, not doing anything. And that is the beauty of life. That is the beauty of living. When you get so many information about how many people are doing so well in your life, in their life, and when you get the information of how many people are having it bad in their life, you start preoccupying with oh so many things that don't really quite matter to you. You start learning about every mental illness. You start learning about every toxic trait of the humanity. You start learning even about the good things. But they are coming from a source that it's outside of you. If someone wants to learn about something good, do it yourself. Or at least in my experience, if I were to see someone doing something good, I would feel good. But I did nothing good that day that I could share, because I was obsessed with what other people were doing. And so I deleted Instagram once again, and now I'm Instagram free. It's been 2 weeks since I don't have Instagram, and I have to say that the quality of living, it is different, because the time in your day, the 24 hours, you spend them differently. You think about your time differently. You think about the activities differently. You even think about getting to know people differently. Because it is a scary thought if you don't have a social media account that, oh, I'm not going to be connected with people. But actually, on the contrary, you start going out more. You start meeting new people, or even you get even deeper connections with the people you already know. You're not faking yourself for any other person. And the people who truly know you, they already know you. And in my opinion, what's the greatest in this life is the people, the connections that we make. And that takes effort, It's not getting to know someone just by looking at their profile and be like, oh, I don't want to say a bad word, but she's not educated enough, or oh, she's using her body, or whatever. But with talking to people, you actually get to know them, and that's how you build true relationships. See, the quality of life changes, because on Instagram you see all of these models eating such great food and not eating at all, that they are so thin, and you feel like you're too fat when you look at the mirror. Once you delete all of those negative things from your life, you start realizing, but I'm perfect the way I am. You start focusing on things that matter to you, like study, for example, or singing, or any other hobby that you would like to do. And then throughout the day you realize, oh, I have so much time. What do I do with it? And then you start mastering yourself. See, I know that this sounds so big and so life-changing, but once you realize what you spend your energy on, you realize that there are things that are just taking your energy. You're not gaining anything from it. I once read something that said, you've read so many things on social media. What do you remember from it? For instance, if I spend 3 hours a day doing anything else, I would gain something from it, some knowledge, something else. But what do you gain from just scrolling on social media, scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Facebook? What is that you gain? Because you give a lot, you give something so precious to you, and that is your time. But what do you gain? I know that these are deep thoughts and something that it shouldn't be so deep when you think about it. It's just social media, it's just a platform that you show yourself to. But that is a platform that you spend so much energy and time to show the fake you, and the perspective that you have on yourself and on other people is changing, and it's focusing more on the visuals, how you look, how you behave. Not even how you behave, but what do you do when you wake up? Are you a good person because when you wake up you don't write in your journal, as the influencers do? Or don't work out just when you open your eyes, and don't eat smoothies 5 times a day? There are many other things that show if you're a bad or a good person. And these are only made up things from an influencer that gets money for what they do. And that is their job. And for that cause, it is okay to use Instagram, because essentially, social media is made for selling. But we don't realize that what we are selling is ourselves, our time, and our energy. I just wanted to say that I've learned that we have to spend our energy wisely. It's better even to do nothing than to fill your head with so many negative information, or even positive, that don't actually help with your everyday life. Spend 5 minutes a day reading, 10 minutes a day jogging, 30 minutes a day doing nothing, or even an hour or 2. But just have control over your time. And this is the best lesson that I learned with deleting my Instagram account. Because now, even though I must admit that I do have some negative habits that I've acquired throughout the years, and that is going on my phone too often, or watching videos without a stop for 5 hours and you don't even realize it, I'm now thinking of it and I'm making changes so I can feel more fulfilled inside. Because before, when I had the Instagram account and when I focused so much on it, I just felt empty and isolated, and all of these negative things that I didn't know I could actually help myself with. So this is my story with it. I used to even struggle with my mental health because of it. Maybe not directly because of it, but when I deleted it, I just felt more free and essentially more happy. So I hope this somehow helps you with your journey. And I hope you're having a wonderful life, and that you're spending it with wonderful people filled with love, joy, and happiness, and that you're happy with yourself and that you love yourself. Take care, and I wish you all the best.
We really hope that you enjoyed our podcast. Have a great day.